Hello everyone, welcome to the Code Switch with me Cyril, this being episode 6 in the video series. If you want to catch insights from the other 5 episodes, you can go to the YouTube page and watch those there so that you don't miss out on all that information. In this episode, I'll be covering work etiquette, basically for those who are either new to a workplace or have been in a workplace but seem to be struggling with adjusting. This is to help you with some pointers on what you should look out for in a workplace. It's basically how to behave in a workplace. There is no hard and fast rule for that. Each workplace is different, but the tips I'm going to give you will at least help you in finding ways of adapting in whatever workplace environment you may find yourself in. The first thing you need to do is to understand the culture of the environment you're in. By culture, I mean what is the way of doing things in that environment. So the culture is usually driven by senior management within that organization or that unit. It may either state that we have a flexible work environment. You can come whenever and then you can leave whenever, but as long as you deliver, we don't really care how you do it, as long as you deliver on your roles and responsibilities. Or it may say, actually, we are very rigid in our way of working. We need you to come in at 8, and we need you to leave at 5, and we need you to do timesheets so you can tell us what you've been doing during the period of time. So you need to find out what kind of culture are you going into. Also, this culture aspect is something that you should find out about before you even sign up for that role in the first place. Before you accept the offer for that role, you need to find out what culture is it that they work with in the organization, because you will find some areas where the culture will clash with your either your personal schedule or your beliefs in certain things. So for example, if you let's say you have a baby and you need to be able to be flexible in your ways of work, come in a bit later, you might have to leave a bit earlier as well to go pick them up from school and then only work from home thereafter. Now if you come into a rigid environment, you will struggle, right? Because they will expect you to be there from a certain time to a certain time, and they won't be in the mood to entertain any of your flexible ways of work requirements. So you need to find out about those things beforehand. You need to be professional in any workplace setting. So by that, I mean you arrive on time. So if they say they want you there at 8, you're there at 8. If you say to them, guys, I can't be at 8, but I can be there at 9, you're there at 9. You're not suddenly you're there at 11 or 12 and they don't know whether you're coming or you're not coming. You need to keep your emotions in check. There'll be lots of challenging situations in any workplace environment. Either someone doesn't want to give you what you've asked them to give you, or someone doesn't perform their part in a group setting, or someone upsets you, say something to upset you. You need to always check your emotions. Basically, play the ball, not the man. I'm sure you've heard of that saying. Try not to be emotional about things. I've learned. It's easier said than done. I've learned over time. I've had many emotional situations myself, and over time they've helped develop me and grow me to over time understand that it's not about me, and not to be emotional in situations. It doesn't mean that you will never be emotional. You will be, but it's about how you keep those emotions in check in those particular situations. If you're in a situation where you find where someone is really upsetting you, you can just ask to continue the conversation at another time, and then you use that interim time just to cool off, and you come back more relaxed to continue that conversation. And just do your job, like some people, so the organization hires you for a specific job. They need you to do something, and in exchange the organization will pay you for your skill sets that you're bringing on board to perform that particular task. So keep your end of the bargain. The organization pays you. It's very seldom that where payday is going to come, unless you're working for maybe a parastatal or an organization that might be facing significant financial challenges. But more often than not, they will pay you on your payday. So why is it that you're not? So why is it that you're not keeping your end of the deal then? So just do your job. Okay. Another thing that you need to take into account, particularly if your workplace deals a lot with emails and phone calls, make sure you respond to emails and phone calls, right? Don't get a mail from someone and then just ignore it because you don't like them or something to that effect, or they did something to you last week and you still haven't forgiven them. Remember, it's a professional environment. Like I said, you respond to emails and phone calls. If you receive Cyril's email but you can't attend to it right now, tell Cyril, I'll not acknowledge receipt of your email, but I'm unable to, do what you ask of me right now because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, which unfortunately takes priority. I'll get your mail by the end of this week. Then at least you've told Cyril that okay, he mustn't expect a response today, but he must expect one by the end of the week. Okay. Like I said, understand that there'll be difficult people in the workplace environment. There always are. You need to be able to identify who those people are, and basically you learn how to deal with them. If you know that this person loves sports, you center your conversations to them around sports, and then you ask them what. Then basically you then go into what you wanted to speak to them about. So it's about finding ways of being able to basically hold a conversation with these difficult people, because only when you interact with them at a personal level will then have that connection, and that will also then translate into a more conducive work relationship as well. Okay, now be aware of your actions and the impact on others. Okay, by this I mean don't be reckless in your actions. Don't be out there speaking about your colleagues and that Cyril is so bad at his job and he messed up here, and then suddenly Cyril hears about this through someone else that you are saying such things about him. Stop that. I don't say so stop that. Don't do, basically just think about this. Do unto others how you would like others to do unto you. That's basically how I should think about it. If what I'm doing now, if someone else were to do it to me, would I find it pleasing? So that is the way to think about it. If the answer is no, then don't do it. That's the simple way of it. Okay. Remember that you work with people, right? We're not all the same, different personalities, different way of doing things, different work ethics even. You might be a person who works from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. and by the time people get to work, you're already far ahead of the task. But actually someone else might be studying and they have to do their assignments and degrees overnight, hence they don't have that, they can't do what you're doing. So don't understand that we all work differently, but that shouldn't mean that in the end, because we all work differently, we need to then be slacking on our deliverables. In the end of the day, if there's a deadline to be met, the deadline needs to be met. How we get there, everyone gets there differently. So it's just understanding and learning to see things from other people's point of view, right? Earlier on, I made the example that if you get an email and you can't attend to it directly, immediately just acknowledge the other person. So if you are the other person, you need to understand that, okay, Cyril, okay, yeah, he's right. These other things are not as important as my ask. So yeah, it's fine. He can actually give it to me by the end of the week. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to touch on a high level in terms of a workplace etiquette. It basically all boils down to the culture and also you and how you fit into the culture and how you understand the dynamics of your environment, the people you work with, the culture, your yourself, your emotions, ways of work, and how you can work better with those around you. Yeah, so if you found these insights useful, please share them with those who stand to benefit the most. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you can get notified as we load more of this content. And remember, we're also on the socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can follow us there. We do post content in between videos, so remember to follow us so you don't miss out. And yeah, let's keep growing together.